don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure, Candice. 1 week, many years ago, I took a week's vacation from my bank job, vice president of a bank, and went to auction school. Didn't tell anybody what I was doing. It was about 2005. Came home 2 years later, opened up my own real estate and auction company. A couple of years after that, found the benefit auction world and discovered my passion. And now even though I can still sell real estate and do some of those other things, my passion is fundraising, auctions, and special event fundraising with organizations. And I am just so tickled to be doing what I'm doing.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I love to hear your story. Now, before we dive really deep into the amazing discussion we have today and the demo of the site a little bit later, can you please tell me, what is the crazy display behind you?
Yeah, I probably should have put my green screen down like I do for normal events. This is I guess you call it a vanity wall. This is my auctioneer world back here, heavily involved in state associations and the NAA, the National Auctioneers Association. And I do a lot of competitive auctioneer events, which for those that don't know, that's a thing. Got very competitive in that early on. I think the next one coming up when I'm in Florida will be the 56th time or so that I've walked across the competitive stage. And it's not just about, believe it or not, it's not just about talking fast and a chant. There's all kinds of things on the scorecard. There is your appearance, how you're interacting with the crowd, how good you would represent the association, whether or not the judge would like to hire you or not. And what I have found is all of those things from that world fit perfectly into making me better at serving my nonprofit clients. And so that's just something that I've grabbed a hold of, love to do. And so there's a few buckles, few plaques. That's just the vanity wall back there.
That's really awesome. 56 competitions. That's incredible. So clearly, Tony is an expert in his field. Now, there's a topic that came up about 6 months ago when him and I were talking, when he said that he recommends doing the fund to need before the live auction. And at the time, I had never heard that. I thought it was crazy. I worked 1,000 events with Event.Gives, and people always do the live auction first. And so we went recently to Vegas, where we have the BAS designation, which stands for Benefit Auction Specialist designation, where experts teaching the class also recommended doing it this way. And he looked over at me and he said, "See, I'm not crazy." And so we decided that we were going to get together and share the many reasons why you should have that fund to need before your live auction. So Tony, please highlight on a few of those. I know he gave me a list of about 11 that were on that list of the reasons you should put it first. So please highlight a few of those for us.
Well, just to be clear, Candice, I could still be crazy and this still be the right way to conduct your fundraising show flow. I wrote a deal, 11 reasons, just to touch on it, to give to my clients, so I'm not saying it over and over. And at the end of the day, you will raise more money because your donors are more attentive. You raise funds ahead of the biphasic alcohol curve. They are more engaged. You can share the mission moment with your donor audience. They're quieter. It's easier to listen. The logistics of the event, it's much, much easier on your staff that's entering things into the computer, however you're capturing those donations, because there's a lot more donations in the fund to need versus the live auction. And I'm going to quit talking here in a minute. I'll let you ask me where you want me to expand, but there's only just a small sliver of the crowd that's really going to engage in the live auction, about 12 to 15%. So we want to raise funds early where there's more engagement, and at the end of the day, we're going to raise more money.
So I'm looking over this list and I'm just amazed by how much detail you put into this and everything that you added to it. So this document will be shared on our social media here later on.
Please.
And if anyone would like to have it, we'd be happy to give it to you. So I'm looking at a few of these, and your number one on the list says sets a philanthropic giving tone for the event. Would you highlight on that a little bit?
Sure. At any fundraising event, donors really fall into two categories. They are either giving transactionally. We are buying a silent auction item. We are buying a live item or a raffle ticket, whatever. That's a transactional gift, right? They're getting something. What we want to do, and to be far more effective in your fundraising, is put your donor audience in a philanthropic giving headspace. And when they are thinking philanthropically and their heart is connected to your mission, they're going to give with a loving, giving heart. It's going to be more successful. And by doing this first, we have our champion speaker, our mission moment. You know, often that can be a video or a champion telling about the cause, how they've been impacted. When you do that first, that is in front of the audience's mindset, and that carries throughout the evening, even the live auction. Hey, maybe they'll feel better about giving more for that live auction item because they're understanding and connected to your cause. And so we want them in that philanthropic giving headspace early on.
That's awesome. And yeah, I think the thing that they said in class was the sooner you can get them, to give, the better, right? The more you're going to raise. So that brings me to ask, my favorite reason on here is the BAC. And why don't you tell us, I think you might have touched on a little bit, but what does that mean? And why does that affect your donors being able to give?
Biphasic alcohol curve. I think that TLA is what you were talking there. That's a 3-letter acronym. Biphasic alcohol curve is a thing. There's science behind it. And if you and your organization have not considered this, is there alcohol available at the event? Right? I like my donors I call it soaking on alcohol less than an hour and a half before we raise money. Because the biphasic alcohol curve, we have a front side, couple drinks, happy, everything's doing good. We hit that top, we go down the other side, and alcohol is a depressant. We then begin mentally either checking out or we get loud and boisterous. We want to raise money on the front side of that biphasic alcohol curve. And again, that is going to help our donors, our audience, be in a mental headspace of connected with our mission, connected with the cause, and just in a better place for that philanthropic giving. We don't want to be on the downside slope of the biphasic alcohol curve where we are struggling to keep the audience's attention. And so Google it, look at it. It's a thing. And if you have alcohol at your event, it should be something that you consider in your fundraising process.
Yeah, it's so funny that alcohol can have such a major player in how well or how disastrous an event could go, right? I've definitely
Certainly.
been in quite a few that I've seen, maybe go on that other end of the curve that you were talking about, and everyone's not paying attention. They're really wild and they're really loud, which, we want them to have a good time and have fun, but we are here for a reason, right? So we're here to raise those funds and make sure that it doesn't go too fun, right?
Right.
So awesome. So again, we're going to share this document. There are many, many other reasons here to why you should put that fund in need. And I will say after, this reading this document and talking to you and talking to, other colleagues, I think you finally got me convinced. And you're right that I might have thought you were crazy before, and maybe you still are, we don't know. But I will say I agree with you. So I think that's really exciting. And so today in our demo, you're going to actually see this in action. You're going to see for the first time ever of me hosting a demo in the last 2 years. We always did the live auction first, but today you get a little treat. We're going to do the paddle raise first. So let me turn it over to Tony to go ahead and get that fund to need started, and he's going to tell you all about it.
So if your organization at your fundraiser is not doing, or you don't understand what a special appeal is, it is simply putting your mission in the forefront of the donors' minds, getting them in that philanthropic headspace, explaining why you're doing what you're doing and how it touches people's lives. And then you ask them to be generous. That's really all it is. So it is such a large component of a fundraising event. Many, many, many events now are only special appeals. Don't even have a live auction. So it's a critical part of your fundraising evening. And I'm going to throw you a curveball, Candice. Normally you do the live auction first. We're going to conduct the live ask or the special appeal. When we do that, we either have a champion speak. I briefly referred to that a while ago, or we would show a video. I'm not sure if we keyed up a video. If we have that, shake your head yes. If not, I'll go forward. But we would share the mission moment, tell our donor audience why we're doing it, what we're doing, what we're raising funds for. And that what I like to do is I like to go fishing, because I tell the crowd, I don't know how generous you want to be. And so normally when the Fund a Need is conducted through the platform, they put up the levels. So what I'm going to ask, though, right now, Candice, we're going to have your producer kick up the custom level amount, because I don't know how generous our audience wants to be. Maybe someone wants to give $18,743.69, and we're not smart enough to ask that. So if there's anybody watching here today or viewing later that wants to donate, connect to the cause. Oh, Candice is in for $18,743, and look at Karen, $226,613. Wow, what? Morgan, thank you, $18,743, a very generous crowd. So we go through that process, and then I go down to the $10,000. Thank you, Ben, $15,000. And then I would ask, is there anyone in the crowd that can raise that paddle, click that blue button we're going to put up there for $10,000? You know what the good things we're doing? There it is. Nelson, 17,431. Thank you. Anonymous donors at 10,000. Madeline, right there. What a generous crew we have with us today. You know what? How about $5,000? Every donation amount matters. We don't want you to give till it hurts. We want you to give till it feels good. Anonymous for $5. Nelson for $5. There we go. Carrie for $5,000. What a generous crew. How about $2,500? You know, that's about the same amount as maybe one shopping cart full at Whole Foods. So for us, it's nothing. To the organization, it matters a lot. $2,500. We're clicking through there. And wow, Candice, just like that, we've raised over $370,000 for our organization. So it's just like that. That's conducting a live ask special appeal at your event in the platform. It's that easy to do.
Tony, that's so amazing to see. You saw how easy and quick that was. We raised way beyond our, goal for the day. And we got quite a few odd numbers at the beginning, which I think is exactly your point. That's why you put just any ask up there, because people might just, when you ask, they might just give a little bit more than your highest level. So that was cool to see, and everyone's having fun with it. So I love to see that. Now we're going to segue over to that live auction, and we're really excited to sell some of these really fun items. So Tony, will you explain how this auction works?
Okay, they just had a live event, same here on the platform. We're going to show you some amazing opportunities to participate. Again, this is that transactional giving. Candice is going to be our news anchor, our MC. She's going to tell us about these wonderful items that we have. And then on the screen, you're going to have the opportunity to click right there. I'm going to tell you the next bid that I'm asking for, how much I have, and you're going to participate. And maybe you can end up with some of these really, really wonderful, special under the sea items that Candice is now going to describe for you.
Thank you, Tony. So for our first item, it is Dinner with Poseidon, a dinner like no other. You will be dining like a god with the real god of the sea. This dinner includes a 4-course meal with delicious wine pairings for 2. This meal is provided by the top underwater restaurant as rated by Travel and Leisure magazine. This outstanding food will be accompanied by none other than Poseidon himself. So take it away, Tony.
What an incredible opportunity it is. And already Nelson is in at 3,000. Next bid is 4,000. And there we go. Madeline at 4. Now 6,000. Karen hit it at 5. Needs $6,000. And this wonderful experience could be yours. Now 7. Madeline's back in. Hey, Jay, come on back. Don't lose it. $7,000. Now 8. 7,000 with Jay. Madeline, you're out. Now 8,000. Now 9. Ben's in. 10,000's all we're asking right here. Now 11. Karen's in at 10 to get 11,000. 12. Now 12. Now 12. Now Nelson's in. 12. 14. Now we need 14. You guys are so generous, clicking right along. Its cool thing is today you are spending imaginary dollars. It doesn't cost you, and you are playing along so well. Nelson's in back at 17. Now we need 19 because Madeline's in at 18,000. Now 20. Josh, thank you for 19. Now 20,000. And we're going to close it out. Karen's in at 20. Need 21. Now 22. 22,000. Who'll be 22? Candice is in at 21. Anybody be 22? 22. And 22, now 23. It's that easy to raise money. We're going to close that one out. Madeline has won that item at $23,000. And just like that, we've raised lots of money for our organization. Candice, what's up next?
Wow, that was so much fun. I was getting outbid left and right. I was trying to get those bids in, but as you can see, it was competitive. But anytime I tried, it still recognized it whenever I was putting my bid in, even though I did not win in the end. And Nelson actually went to BAS designation with us, so I got to say hi. You outbid me like 3 times. Thank you. So we got one more item for all of you to get another try to be our lucky winner. So our second item for our auction today is an entire day full of underwater sightseeing. Take yourself on a trip with 4 of your closest friends to experience a lot up close and personal. On your full day guided tour, you will be scuba diving all Atlantis has to offer, from deep sea caverns, coral reefs, historic monuments, and sea life galore. It will take your breath away. So Tony, take our breath away.
And just like that, Josh is in at 7. We've already had several bids. We need 8,000, now 9,000. Karen's in at $8,000. Who'll be 9, Josh? Come on back. You owned it for a while. Chelsea at 10, need 11. 11, now 12, but he get 12,000. Thank you, Josh, for your $11,000 bid. Now 12, where? Al 13. Who will get 13? Karen's 12. Kandice is 13, need 14, need 15,000. Josh is in at 14, now $16,000. Where? Aisle 16, 16. We have an anonymous bid at 15,000, now 18, now 19. Karen's in at 18, but again 19, not 20, not 20. Thank you, Josh, 19,000. Who'll get 20? Where? But get 20,000. 21, now 21. Instantaneous, I like it. There's no delay right here. I can see when you bid. I take the next bid, 21,000. Nelson has it at 20,000. If you want it, now's the time. Now 22,000. Karen's in at 21, but it gets 22. 22,000. Let's raise some money. Josh at 22,000, but it 23,4. Now 24,000. Lillian, new money at 23,000, but it get 24, but it get 24. I'm going to sell out. Last opportunity right here, but it get 24,000. Closing the bid right there. And Lillian, looks like we have won the item. $23,000. Thank you all for your amazing generosity, and all that money is going to stay right here and help this wonderful organization that you've heard about tonight. It's that easy. And again, I pointed out, sub-zero latency is what we talk about on the platform. I can interact. I see when Nelson's bidding, when Kandice is bidding. You can interact with people outside the room. Love it. I'll quit talking about it, and I think it's your turn to talk.
Tony, that's awesome. I love that Nelson was like, no latency. How is that possible? We figured this out during COVID when, the world took all fundraising virtual, and we had a really great time building this amazing platform to be able to give you that 0 latency. So if you have a virtual or a hybrid event, or you even just want to display this up on a board, you can see all that in real time. So very exciting stuff. Thank you so much, Tony, for making this one of the most exciting demo auctions. And maybe it's because we did the fund to need first. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But we raised so much. So thank you so much, everyone. And we are going to segue into our Q&A. So if you have any questions for Tony, here is your opportunity to pick his brain. You're never going to get this chance again. So feel free to add in the chat something that you want to know about Tony, or maybe a feature of the site. We'd be happy to answer those for you.
Candice, we have a question
for you, Tony.
Right there. Morgan's asked, hey, I'm not sure if I need
I'm not sure. Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
All right. Morgan's asked, I'm not sure if I need all of these features for my event. Do you think this platform is still a good fit? Morgan, that is one of the things that I spoke about early on that I love about Event.Gives. The platform will expand and contract. We went through that really fun period when we were only virtual, and then we've slipped into hybrid or whatever. But if you just need a good way to register guests, capture their credit card, the program will do it. If you want to add that silent auction online, the platform will do it. If you want to do full-on streaming of your event, kick it out virtually, hybrid, however. That is my favorite thing about the program, the platform. It's affordable, and it expands and contracts to what you need. So regardless of whether you think you need all of the features, use what you want to use. Use what's going to make it an efficient fundraising event for your organization. Give it a look. It'll expand and contract and make it work for you.
Thank you, Tony. And I'll answer that next question. I got Joshua Rush. You said, can you do add-ons per lot? Does that just mean like you want to quickly add another item, or I'm not entirely sure. Do you know, Tony, what he might be referring to?
Yeah, coming from I know Josh, glad you joined us. Josh and I are both kind of from the livestock background. I was an ag teacher when I first got out of college. And at livestock events, and I do sell some county premium sales, the kind of things that he's talking about at state fairs and what have you. When a livestock exhibitor sells their premium at one of those events, there's the opportunity for people in the crowd to do add-on money. So it's just as simple giving extra money going to that particular premium that's being auctioned off or sold at the time. There's probably a way to do that by setting up a multiple, kind of in our world, it would be a raffle draw, but it would have to be where we could add the multi dollar amounts. It's not just a set amount so that they can customize it. Josh, I have no doubt that if they don't do it, they can figure that out if we need to do that.
Yes, there are ways that you could do that with, you can utilize fixed price items and be able to kind of manipulate that for sure. So we can always dive in that together. Josh, if you ever want to meet up, we'd be happy to do that. And we got another question. We got Madeline said, do you guys have ticketing capabilities? I really want all my features in one place. Yes, Madeline, we do. We actually highly recommend that you use ticketing through the site because in that, it really helps with the flow of the event. So if you start with selling that ticket, you've now captured all of that data and information of your donors, as well as, holds their credit card for later use if needed. And you're able to have all that data, check them in within the site super easily. And now they're in and they're bidding and they're donating and they're really interacting with the site and raising those funds. So that was a great question.
And to add on to that, checkout is a dream. Their credit card's in there. And we know in-person events, lines are a pinch point. They're a pain point for people. And having captured that credit card ahead of time and making checkout that easy, it just eliminates that last frustration that an attendee is going to see at your event. So plug it in, it works.
And Tony, you got a question here, and it's one of your favorite sayings. So do you travel?
I have gavel will travel. Like I say, I am licensed in 6 states. I work a number of others that don't require a license, but Texas, Florida, Illinois, just got Pennsylvania. Love to travel, go help organizations with their events. Have the capability through this platform and the new Zoom world we live in that I can actually help organizations without traveling, but we do it both. Love it. Have gavel will travel.
Have gavel will travel. It's my favorite saying. Let's see. Nelson said, Goofy Benefit Auctioneer question. Does the software support bid on a star or blue line incentives for online auctions? And again, you'll probably have to help me with this one, Tony. I don't know if I've heard of those.
That's a level up kind of thing that a lot of in-person silent auctions can be done. So you've got the silent auction bidding platform, and there may be a multiple or a certain number of levels on that silent auction where if a donor bids at that level, they may be put in for a raffle or something. And those blue line, a blue line or a gold star by the level. However, that encourages donors to just go ahead and skip up to that next level and donate, maybe that 300 instead of the 175 or whatever, because they get in on the raffle. That might be a complexity thing that I'm not familiar with that. I haven't used that in the software. But I'm sure some way it could be added, but that would be a complex situation for the higher up programmers probably in the back room.
Yeah, I would say it would be possible by pulling reporting and pulling that data, and then you can easily give raffle tickets and things like that out. However, it's not built to where it's automatic in the system yet. So we do have a new site rolling out soon. Stay tuned for all that information. I'm not allowed to say too much about it, but I will say maybe that could be a feature you see in the future. So who knows? Thanks, Nelson. Looks like that's wrapping up our questions for the demo today. And thank you all so much for coming and participating. And a special thank you to Tony. He is one of our amazing strategic partners. He has actually been with Event.Gives from the very beginning. So I can't thank him enough for all of the insight and all the wonderful, things that he has brought and events that we get to work. We're always super happy and excited to travel and to go to your events. So, if you have events out in the world that you need us at, we'd be happy to come to those. And again, thanks, Tony, for hosting with us.
Hey, Candice,
Thank
another
you all for
feature, we can
coming.
turn the chat off to keep the crowd focused on what we want to do. So Nelson's not asking us about the World Cup. Thank you, Nelson.
Nelson. I don't think we have the ability to kick people out, but I might have to. No, I'm just I'm just kidding. Excuse me. What a fun time. And thank you, Tony, again for coming. And, we hope to see you guys all soon. And Tony will share his contact information. You'll see this demo recording on our socials later. So feel free to reach out to us if you'd like to work with Tony in the future. So thank you all very much. We will see you next month, second Wednesday of every month we host this demo. So January 11th, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we will see you all very soon.
Thank you, Candice.